We want to make sure that you guys are all, hyped up and ready to learn. This is going to be some really cool stuff, and this is stuff that you should be enjoying because remember, this is building a product around your passion. This is something that you love, and this is something that you want to do. So really stay focused. Let's have fun during this live training session today, and let's really learn some cool stuff because I think you guys are going to be blown away with what we're going to be talking about. So with that being said, Justin started off, and I think everyone who's planning on getting on is on now, so we're ready to go.
All right, awesome. So do you guys see my screen with the slide that is up here? Adam, do you see it as well?
Yep, I see it.
All right. So
It says passion always wins.
perfect. Yeah, so in this training, the upcoming trainings we're going to talk about some more affiliate marketing, some is going to be vendor based, having your own product. And as we kind of go further, the trainings are going to change. But in this training, what we're going to talk about, which even if you're interested in affiliate marketing, it's important, is that passion always wins. So right now, what we're going to try to do is narrow down and secure an idea for you uh, for your product. Okay, so being passionate about something is one thing, but knowing exactly what your topic is and exactly what problem your product is going to solve is another. So the first thing that Adam and I really wanted to talk about is this passion. And what being passionate is just means that you love something. Okay, it can be anything. And we're really lucky as digital entrepreneurs that literally anything we're interested in, we can turn into a business. So there's not a lot of businesses out there, definitely like brick and mortar or commerce, things like that, that you can really turn whatever you're passionate about into a full-blown business for yourself. So, Adam, do you want to kind of kick off on, because you're really passionate about this passion thing and how it's super important for people to be successful?
Yeah, definitely. So, guys, I have a question for everyone. Have you ever tried doing something, in life? It could be anything, a job that you've worked at, or anything that you are not passionate about. Tell me in the chat box right now if you've ever done something that you were paid for, that, people paid you to do, but you weren't passionate about it. Let's see in the chat box. James, yes. Doyle, yes. Mel, yes. Absolutely, yes, 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 all the time. My current job, lots of times, yes, just about everything. Okay, cool. So it looks like a lot of people are in the same boat, which, I would say 99% of people in the world are. And you don't need to feel bad about that. You don't want to, put yourself down about that because that's really been the only options that people have known about in the past. You go to school, you get your degree, and then you go work at a job because, your bills to pay and you have to, make money or else you end up on the street. So it's not something that, you want to look down on, but it's something now that, because of the time we live in, with the internet and the opportunities that the internet gives us, it allows us to basically, go away from that old-fashioned, do something that you're not passionate about just to make money and start to change that into follow something you are passionate about and actually make more money than you're making now. And that has never been possible before. And because we're in a time now that gives us all those, great abilities to leverage the internet, leverage YouTube, leverage all these amazing platforms out there for traffic generation or website creation, to voice ourselves, to everyone in the world without having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. We need to really leverage that. And that's why we love the whole product creation side, because you can take something you are really passionate about. Let's say it's golf, for example, and you can create a course around golf because that's your passion. You do that normally as a hobby. You go every Sunday to play golf with your friends. But now, instead of just looking forward to doing it every Sunday, how about you do that every day and you turn that into an actual job for yourself where you actually can generate a full-time income online with it. And that's really something that's important. And when you follow your passion, it's important because you don't look at it as a job anymore. You look at it as something that you're just going to do because you love, and money will just start coming in because we're going to show you how to monetize it correctly and generate an income from it. So it's very important that you follow your passion. It's very important that you do stuff that you're passionate about. And we're going to get more into that with the slides coming up. But I just wanted to throw that out there before we kind of get into all of it.
Yeah, definitely. That's really great. So like right now we live in such a different world that we can follow our passion, build a business out of it. But when you're passionate about something and it's your business and it's something you're working on all the time, it doesn't feel like work, but also, when you're struggling, like when you're having a bad day, when you're, struggling because some little thing you just can't get right. A lot of us know that feeling, that frustration. If you're passionate about that kind of your product, it's going to allow you to persevere because on those bad days, you're still going to love what you're doing. So you'll get through it. So in the next few slides here, we have some people talking about how important passion really is. So when we're talking about that, the whole point of this passion and passion wins is to find your perfect product idea. So Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook said that if you just work on stuff that you like and you're passionate about, you don't have to have a master plan with how things will play out. So that's Mark Zuckerberg, who started Facebook. And the people who are most passionate about the companies or products that they create are almost always the ones who are the most successful. And that's because they're just not looking at the short term, and you're not looking at if I put in an hour of work, I better see some some kind of vision that it's worth it, because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you put in 3 hours of work and you still can't figure something out. But if you love what you're doing, you're not going to need that instant gratification. And that instant gratification is basically the number one thing that makes people stuck in the 9 to 5, because they know that, when I work, I'm going to get paid for that time. I'm trading time for dollars. So I know if I put in the time, I'm going to get the dollars, and it's kind of a fixed deal. So when you are loving what you're doing, you're not worried so much about that. A lot of us, have to do the 9 to 5. A lot of you guys on there, and you're trying to do this on the side, maybe after work. That's great. That's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of, because you know that you need to hit, certain financial goals, to support your family, support your life, support retirement. But we want to think about stuff we like and we're passionate about, so that way we don't have to really worry about the master plan. We can keep working on it without that instant gratification. And here's another one. This is by Jeff Bezos. How many of you guys use Amazon? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys ever buy things on Amazon.com? Yeah, a lot of yeses. So it's a really cool platform to buy pretty much anything online. And this is what he has to say. So he said that one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they try to force an interest on themselves. Okay, you don't choose your passion chooses you. So in this whole training, what we're going to try to figure out is what your passions are. And a lot of people make the mistake of trying to create an ebook about weight loss, but they never were passionate about it. Some skinny guy like me, I'm not passionate about it because that's not something I've ever experienced or overcame or understood really. So that's what we're going to talk about, are the passions that choose you, instead of you trying to find a big profitable niche that you're not really interested in, because that's not going to give you long term the results in the long term. And here's another really good one that we actually posted on our Facebook page the other day, is that the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it, keep looking, don't settle. And that's by Steve Jobs. So what he's saying here is that you can only do some really significant, great job if you're actually loving what you're doing. Because if you haven't, you're probably not going to be able to achieve that same success. So don't settle on whatever you think you should be doing because you've seen someone successful doing it, and keep looking. So I guess now what we're going to do is kind of transition onto you. So what we're going to talk about are how to find your passion, and then at the end what we're going to do is basically you guys can ask us if your ideas are good, to go ahead and create a product around. So what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper if you haven't already, and a pen. So go ahead, do that. Let me know in the chat when you've done that. All right, cool. So what we want you to do is, by the end in the next, 20 minutes, you actually have a product idea and you're going to send it to us in the chat box and we're going to let you know what we think. So what we need to figure out from you is what are you passionate about? Now, it's kind of broken down into these three different things to try to figure it out because a lot of us, we might be passionate about a lot of different things and we don't really know exactly what we want to do. So how many of you guys are like that? Say yes if you are. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you can do and it's hard to kind of narrow down on your passion, but really what it comes down to is what do you like doing? So that's kind of one thing. What do you like doing? But that's more like engaged. Like I like playing tennis. But the next thing is what do you like talking about? So if you're not a good tennis player, but you're still interested in, the sport itself, you like talking about that. Or what do you find? What topics do you find yourself reading about the most in articles, maybe online, maybe in the newspaper, um, or magazines are really good too to give you an idea. So hopefully you have some sort of idea there. Really what you should be passionate about is basically the thing that we're going to go into next, which is what do you really like kind of thinking about, talking about, watching, things like that. So this is the party test. And this is something that, I've used a lot to try to come up with ideas with other people. When family or friends ask me, what should my product be? I like so many different little things, but I don't know if I'm passionate enough about any of them. So this is the party test. Okay, so imagine you're at this party, right? Maybe like one friend invited you and you don't really know that many people. So you're at this party, you're walking in, maybe you have a drink, maybe there's some appetizers, but really what you need to do to feel comfortable is to start talking to people, right? Kind of get into like a little group of people and start talking. So what the party test is when you're at that party, when you're talking to those people in the group, what is the perfect topic that they could start talking about that would make you the most engaged and interested in the conversation so you could just talk all night about that topic. That's the party test. So I want you to think about that. And all of us have this experience is that when something comes up that you're really like passionate about, you just start talking like crazy. You kind of get excited even though it's not that big of a deal, and you just start talking about that topic and all the things you think about and your opinions and maybe what you've learned or what you read in some place or what you heard from your friends. Or that is the party test, and that is really the number one way to figure out what you're passionate about. Is what is something that you could just talk all night about, that you're really interested in. It doesn't have to be something you're an expert in, just something that you are very engaged and interested in. All right. So hopefully that will give you, a little bit of an idea. In the chat, if you can comment, what would that be? A conversation about, and then just put in the topic in the chat. Golf, movies, rock and roll, whatever it is, put that in the chat. And Adam, if you want to like just kind of name some of those out loud so other people can get ideas, that'd be cool.
Yeah. How to, how to plan a beautiful wedding on budget, finding and buying vintage jewelry, how to become a wedding planner, flying, rugby games, girls, how to plan any special event, education, others, and vintage jewelry, Bitcoin education for newbies, music, becoming self-sustaining, photography, martial arts, marketing, basketball, rescue dogs, online games, Bitcoin, jewelry, real estate, successful people, self-development, bucket list, music production. They're flying in here. Japanese antiques, keyboard and guitar, teaching, lifting weights, how to market on YouTube, superfoods for a healthy body, making money online, personal development, salsa music and dancing, portfolio careers, recipe for vegetarians, local SEO and blogging, in-home fitness, and tons more.
Awesome. All right, those are really, really good. So hopefully, most of you guys have figured out kind of that party test. But what we're gonna do now is something really important because I get this question all the time. It's okay, so I figured out, what I'm passionate about. So how do I know if that's actually profitable? So we talk about, making sure you're passionate first, but being passionate and having a good product idea are two different things. So say you are super passionate about, you know, beauty supplies, but if your product doesn't hit the right points, if it's not the right angle, you're not going to do too hot, okay? So the next test is to see if your product is really a valid idea to sell as an information product. All right. So hopefully, what I want you to do right now is write down what you think your topic is right now on your piece of paper. Exactly what it is. It's a course for newbies on blank or whatever it is. So write that down. Say yes or say done when you're done with that inside the chat. All right. Cool. All right. So the next thing here is the info product test. So we did the passion test, which is the party test, basically. But this is the info product test. And if your idea passes the next three guidelines, you have a much higher chance at creating a very successful information product. Okay, so what this is doing is it's kind of hitting all the points on why people buy things. So, when we're coming up with a new business or an info product, what we want to make sure is that we hit these three guidelines. Because if we hit these three guidelines, it's way easier to sell a product. Okay? So the first guideline is there an emotional need for the product? So what I want you to do on that piece of paper right below your product, write yes or no. Now, let me kind of tell you something here. So emotional need is completely how you market your product. So say it's like a knitting guide and you're like, yeah, that's not really emotional. You can create an emotional need by, tying in emotional things like, would you ever like to knit a scarf for your daughter, something that she'll, keep forever? Would you like to know how to do that? That brings in an emotional aspect. So you need to think in a little bit further for this first one if it's not right off the bat emotional. So let me know if your product can have an emotional need. So let me know in the chat. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right, sweet. So that's the first one, an emotional need. That's really going to help you sell your product because people buy from emotion. They don't buy because of logic. Emotion is way stronger than logic. Okay? So even if it's something super functional like a car, is there really a reason why a Rolls Royce should be that much more expensive, like 3 times more expensive than a Mercedes? Not really. It's pretty much the same product, but the emotional branding, that's what makes it sell. So I want you to think about emotion as a very important guideline. All right? Now, the second thing is, are customers actively seeking a solution to your problem? So right now, are people, looking online? Are they looking on TV for commercials? Are they, going into shops? Are they taking lessons? Are they learning, something from an internet course already about your problem? So that's what I want you to do for the second thing is write a big yes or no. Are customers looking for a solution? Because if they're looking for a solution, all you have to do is pop your solution right in front of them. If they're not already looking for a solution, it's much harder because now what you have to do is you have to get them to find you without even looking for you, and then you have to convince them to buy something they weren't even really looking for. So that's why number 2, customers actively seeking a solution is super important. So let me know in the chat, are people looking for a solution? The best way to do this is you can actually look on the ClickBank marketplace and look if there's products selling on the ClickBank marketplace under whatever category and whatever similar product. Or you can just Google your product, like looking like I need to learn learn Spanish. You're going to see a lot of people are searching for that. A lot of things are going to pop up. Something to actually tell is when you're searching something like, say, learn basketball, you're going to see ads on Google, right? It could be like at the top or maybe on the sidebar. If there's ads there, that's good because that's showing that people are searching for it enough for other people to pay for ad spots. Okay, so does that make sense? Right? Yes, in the chat, if that does. That you can go on Google, type in, whatever your problem is that you're looking to solve with your product. And if there's ads, that's actually a really good sign because it shows that people are actively buying enough that people can put up ads. Okay, yes, 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 yes. All right, so that's number 2. So give me a big fat yes, on your sheet of paper and in the chat box if it covers number 2. All right, so the next one. Now this one really is skewed, and I'm going to tell you why. This one more applies to a regular business, but I'm going to tell you how the digital marketplace is so much different than a regular business. Because the third one is, are there few perceived options available to satisfy that need? Are there few perceived options available to satisfy that need? Now, I don't want you thinking that competition is, something that is bad, because it's actually not. Competition is good because, first of all, it shows that the product already has, the first 2 things because it's already selling, right? The second thing that is good is that you can actually have those people cross promote your products. So if it's a basketball, course on how to shoot a good jump shot, and you have a basketball course on, how to do a dunk, that guy who has a course on basketball can cross promote your product. Okay, as long as it has a slightly different twist, they can cross promote your product. But let me talk about this. In the digital marketplace, okay, so any digital product, if you market it, it doesn't really matter the competition, because what happens is, say you send someone to your course, right? A visitor lands on your course and it's all about knitting. Does it really matter that your course has a lot of competitors and there's maybe 1,000 other sites pretty similar to yours? Once that visitor lands on your website, is that visitor going to leave and search for a lot of different other knitting and kind of compare and that kind of stuff? Not really. They're not. That's not really how information products work. The way it works is that people go to your site, and then it's up to you to pitch them, or else they're going to leave. That's it. It's up to you to sell and close. So if you sell them, they buy your product. If not, they leave. So what a perceived option is just something that when they land on your page, they're not thinking about all the other options. Okay, they're not thinking, oh, but I could, I could go somewhere else. So that's what a perceived option is. And the best way to kind of be a little bit unique is to have a unique selling proposal. So to have some sort of twist onto your course. And we're going to talk about that and how important it is to kind of narrow down your topic. And, say it's a course about soccer, right? That's actually a really bad course idea. A course about soccer does not really hit any points. People aren't looking to just learn soccer in general. They're looking to learn soccer to be advanced. They're looking to be newbies. The beginners in soccer, they're learning how to do, a corner kick. They're learning certain things, and you have to narrow down and find exactly what that is, because having a course just around soccer is way too broad. They're going to get in. You're going to have 1,000 videos. That's not going to really work. So what we want to do now is, if this is past these 3 things, which since your product is digital, it pretty much passes this one. What I want to do is kind of open it up, and we're going to kind of go into more of a Q&A. And Adam, is there anything we should show them before we do that? Maybe about the marketplace or something like that?
Yeah, we can kind of go over what's in the marketplace and kind of show the different niches that inside of the marketplace right now. That'll
Okay,
probably be a good thing to do.
cool. So what I wanted to do though, there's this one last slide, and that's about really testing it. So, we might talk about this, we might show you the marketplace, it might cover the 3 guidelines for success, but really the best way to do it once you have your product, so like right after this, training, you need to start talking to your avatar or to your potential customers, because the only way to know for sure if your idea passes is to talk to your customers. One of the worst things that you can do is to just assume that people are going to buy, right? So you just assume that your idea on you know whatever it is, how to make really great purified water with household items is a great idea. Sounds cool, right? But you have to check and see if your customers or your potential customers would actually buy from you. So you need to test what you assume and don't just go after what you think will work. That's the first thing. Never assume. It's really bad in business. One of the worst things. The second thing is to go ahead and try to test it with looking at blogs, looking at forums, maybe articles, Facebook, Twitter, and asking people in real life. Okay. So what are the best things you can ask these people? Well, you can first of all ask them, would you be interested in something like this? But once you get over that and people are saying, yeah, yeah, that would be cool, and they say that they would actually buy it, it's one thing to say it's cool, but one thing to say, yeah, I would buy an ebook to learn how to do that. The next thing is to kind of figure out exactly what your product should be and exactly how you should market that product, exactly what problems you should solve with your product by asking things like, what are your biggest fears? What are your biggest goals? What should I have in my product to make sure that you're really happy with it? What would help you the most? What can I add into my product that would really, be something that you're like, wow, this is really cool. This is what I was looking for. This will help me the most. So I want you to think about these things. By the way, in the recorded training session area of the university, this video is going to go up, and also what's going to go up is this PDF. That way you can kind of go back. So it'll be up tomorrow, and you can go back and kind of check out all these bullet points and all the guidelines and all the tests and stuff like that. So I think that is the last slide here. So Adam, do you want to kind of take it away and control the screen, kind of go through the marketplace and kind of show them all the stuff that's working right now to give them more ideas?
Definitely. So give me 1 second.
Cool. All right. Well, while Adam is setting that up, does everything make sense that we talked about? Let me know in the chat. Give me a yes, or give me a I'm confused about this part. All right. All right. Lots of yeses. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do when Adam takes it is I'm going to
Okay, cool. If you
write in
want
the
to hand it
chat
over.
also. All right. So let me do that.
All right, cool. Can everyone see my screen? Let's see. Type in yes if you can. Awesome. All right, perfect. Okay, guys, so right now, let me minimize this real quick. Oops. Right now, I'm currently on the ClickBank Marketplace. Now, this is where basically your product will show up, and this is where affiliates will basically find your product to go and promote it and start making sales for you. Now, the marketplace is a great area to basically, really see what is going on with your niches, because this is an area where people are putting up products in tons of different niches. As you can see here in the category section right here, there's arts and entertainment, betting systems, business investing, computer and internet, cooking, food and wine, e-business and e-marketing, education, employment, fiction, games, green products, health and fitness, home and garden, languages, mobile, parenting, politics, reference, self-help, software, spirituality, sports, and travel. So that's how ClickBank has basically broken down their categories. So, like Justin was talking about before, it's hard to create a product in just a very broad niche. For example, golf. If your passion is golf and you want to, create a product around golf, if you're just going to create a product that's based around golf, it's going to be very hard to put that together. What are you teaching? How do you get people to buy? Obviously, people are interested in golf, but what's your pitch? How to become better at golf in general, but that's still a niche within golf, So you have to really figure out what you're going to be focusing on. And when I show you kind of what's within these categories right now, you're really going to be able to see, how people have broken down their products. And what I want you to do after this live training is, take some time and go through the ClickBank marketplace and really, figure out, how your product fits in and see how people have broken down their products to sub niches and things like that. For example, let's go to sports right now. Okay, I'm going to click on the sports category. And let's see what the most popular sports products are right now. So the number one right now in sports is vertical jump training. So that would be, how to jump higher. And that's a very specific niche, and this is doing great right now on ClickBank. It's the number one product in the sports niche. So there's affiliates promoting it. There's sales being generated on a daily basis. So that is awesome. Epic soccer training. So this is a soccer niche, but as you can see here, it's all about, improving soccer skills. So this is all about, the sub-niche of soccer and how to become better with certain skills in soccer. So that is a product that is number 2 on ClickBank right now that's doing very well. The next one is Body for Golf. So this is a golf product, and there's a sub-niche within here that is teaching a specific thing about golf. And this is the number 3 product on ClickBank when it comes to sports training, sports niches. So again, let's say golf is the niche that you want to go into. What you want to do is really kind of focus on creating a product, about maybe putting specifically, or figure out create a course around how to drive better, from the tee. Those are the things that people are really searching for on Google, on YouTube. Those are the issues, really look at what the issues are that people are having within your niche, and then that's how you can really specifically find your sub niche. And you can go through, all the products in here. Let's go and move to another niche right now on ClickBank, and this is a little secret right here that you guys may not know about, but if you just click on the magnifying glass right here in the marketplace, it actually will tell you what are the highest converting products out of every product in the marketplace without even having to pick a niche at all. So by just clicking this little magnifying glass right here that says find products, you leave this part blank and you just click that, it'll actually show you the highest converting products right now on ClickBank. So the number 1 product on ClickBank right now is called the Venus Factor. Now this is a product that teaches women specifically about health and fitness tips, weight loss, and stuff like that. It is only for women, that's it. So this is one of the highest converting and best-selling products currently on ClickBank now. The next best product that's selling great on ClickBank right now is Ted's Woodworking. This is all about, woodworking plans, how to build certain, sheds, or how to build, a table, or how to build a chair. It's all different woodworking plans. And Ted, I'm assuming, is the owner of this. His passion was obviously woodworking, and he created a sub-niche where it was plans on different types of things to build with wood, and that's what he's selling. Doing great with that. Cellulite gone. That's a niche within health and fitness. It's how to get rid of cellulite. Doing great. Number 3 product on ClickBank. Here's one about getting cash for surveys. Here's another one here about auto binary. Let's see here. The Tao of Badass. Now this is a product about how to basically get into the dating space, how to really understand how to, meet a girl that you have a future with, how to dating tips, things like that. Doing great on ClickBank as well. Reverse your diabetes today. Another product that's doing very, very well in ClickBank, it's a sub niche of health and fitness, okay? And Old School New Body, another sub niche of health and fitness, and so on. Here's a Pregnancy Miracle, top pregnancy infertility book on ClickBank, sub niche within a big niche. So it's great to kind of just look at what's going on here in ClickBank, kind of check out your competition, because like Justin was talking about before, competition is one of the best things you can have in the info publishing space because of the reason that they're going to be your sources of traffic in the future. You're going to be able to promote their stuff, they're going to be able to promote your stuff, and therefore it's not competition, they're actually technically partners of yours to make your product more successful. So if you see that there's a lot of products, a lot of things that are in your niche right now, look at that as a very, very positive thing, because it means that people are making money, number one, in that niche, and number two, you can leverage those people, and you can leverage all of their customers, you can leverage all their traffic for your product now as well. So what we want you to do is just, go through all of these categories here, find the category that fits you best, and just look and see what these products are all about. If you click on the actual link here, it'll take you to the actual product page where you can see what the product is like, how they're selling it, and things like that. And this is a great way for you to really understand, how they're doing their marketing, what their pitch is like, and stuff like that. And you can take notes on that too. And when Jess and I first got started, building products online, a big part of it was researching other products in our space. And that really helped us understand and see how to really position ourselves to have a really high converting product and really come out with something that would sell right out the gate. Because if they're under the top products here, it means they're making sales, or else they wouldn't be listed here. So these are perfect, role models to basically follow and look and see and kind of copy, essentially, to match your new niche or whatever you're going into.
Very cool. Yeah, there's a couple like things to really realize is that in this marketplace, this is these are mostly getting promoted by joint venture partners. So that means people are, going to see where it says Muscle Maximizer and they're clicking promote, the promote button, and then they are sending traffic to it by posting it on their website, by writing articles about it, by sending, all their subscribers, their affiliate link. And so what you're doing when you have a product that is very popular or in a popular category is that you're going to kind of get on the fast track because there are affiliates that can actually promote those products. Okay, so you don't have to do all the work. And you'll see in the marketplace, there's literally like, affiliates for everything. So it's crazy that, Ted's Woodworking is such an amazingly high selling product. So the first page, I'd say 10 pages of the marketplace are selling really well. So that means every day, most of them every day are making sales. So it's something really, really cool, and to really check out because, if you have a product that is kind of similar, maybe it has a little twist, it's already proof that affiliates are potentially interested and that you can actually advertise and there's people that are willing to buy it. So that's really, really important. And I sent everyone the link to the marketplace so you guys can check it out. And that is basically how, a lot of times and a lot of things in the training and what's coming up is about how do you check out competition and see what's working. So, one thing that we really talked about is how it's important to have a sub niche, right? That's what Adam kept on saying. And you'll see the number one product that says the Venus Factor. Adam, do you want to click that real quick and play the video for like 10 seconds?
Yep.
Cool. So let's see if they can hear it here.
Hello.
Here we go. Ready?
Following presentation does not apply to men and is only for women that want to lose at least 10 pounds.
All right. All right, so what that video did, that's the sales video. This is the whole sales page that's, making the most sales out of any product on ClickBank right now. Tons and tons of sales. We can't tell you how many, but it's really, really crazy. And what they're doing right away is they're saying, this is not for men. This is only for women who want to lose at least 10 pounds. So it's getting very specific, because what happens when you get specific like that is that you can really target your audience. So the reason why, the Venus Factor right here is doing so well is because now people can promote it on ads on Facebook, on Google, and on all sorts of things because it's converting really well. So it converts really well because it's identifying who their visitor should be and it's marketing directly to them. Pretend this was just like a lose weight product. If it just said, "Hi, in this video, you're going to learn how to lose weight." It's not identifying the visitor. It's not saying this is perfect for you because you are a woman who wants to lose 10 pounds. This is not for men because, and you'll see in the pitch, it also says, losing weight for women is much harder than men. So that actually really creates a really high converting video because it stays very, very specific. And Adam, do you want to explain the gravity right here on all these products and how that kind of gives them an idea of how many sales these are making and how that whole thing works?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, if you guys are not familiar with what these kind of things are that I've pulled up right here, you see at the very top it's popularity. That's what it automatically ranks by on ClickBank. And then there's gravity at the bottom here. Now, popularity is basically how popular a product is. If a product is making, 100 sales a day, then the product is more popular than a product making 10 sales a day. Very simple, very straightforward, and it's ranked accordingly. So the products that are higher up mean that there are more products being sold per day for that specific product, technically. And that's how they rank it by popularity. And then gravity is something different. Gravity is this thing right here, as you can see that I'm highlighting. Every product has a gravity. This gravity is 561. This gravity is 204. This gravity is 284. Now, gravity is different to popularity because what gravity is basically doing is it's telling you how popular a product is with affiliates. Now, this is how it works. Let's say you watching this live training right now make 3 sales promoting the Venus Factor as an affiliate. I make 1 sale promoting the Venus Factor as an affiliate, and Justin makes 25 sales promoting the Venus Factor as an affiliate. Just because I made 1 sale and you made 3 and Justin made 25 doesn't mean that the gravity is affected differently by each of us in any way. It's affected the same way because each of us moved that gravity point up by 1 because we each made a sale promoting Venus Factor as an affiliate. So technically what this gravity means right here is that 561 affiliates have made sales, at least 1 sale promoting this product, the Venus Factor, and it's over a course of I think a month or 60 days that they do it on the marketplace here. And I don't know, Justin, do you know the exact number? Because it changes every once in a while.
Yeah, no, I don't exactly.
Okay, so yeah, so basically that shows that, let's say in the past 30 days that at least 561 affiliates have made at least 1 sale. Now, the reason that's important is because it really, allows you to gauge if a product is popular, and even more so popular than just ranking it by popularity like they do here, because if an affiliate is promoting a product, that means that they're generating money, which means if the product wasn't converting very well, they wouldn't be promoting it because it would be a waste of their time, a waste of their traffic, a waste of whatever they're paying to advertise the product as an affiliate. So the higher the gravity means the better the better converting product it is, and the more popular it is, basically. So that is basically what the difference is between popularity and gravity. Gravity is specifically about affiliates, and popularity is about the overall sales of a product.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, so it's pretty crazy. You guys can kind of do the math. You'll see right here it says average dollar per sale is $47, and at least 561 affiliates have made 1 sale. So you can do the math on that. And I bet out of those 561 affiliates, the average is probably like 10 sales. So you can do the math on that. Take out a calculator. You'll see it's pretty crazy. And that's within I think it is a 30-day span, Adam. So yeah, it's definitely something to check out. And I'm seeing a couple things in here. Debbie asked, "Hey, it looks like this has a big sales video. Can we just have a sales page with just text?" Yeah, you can, but as you look at these top products, it's really great because you can model their success. And you'll see, like for the Venus Factor one, it's just a big video, right? And then a button pops at the bottom offering to buy, which we talk about in the advanced section, how you can do that. But you'll see that most of them are video. Most of them have like a mix of, text and video. In terms of inside their video, like it's text animation and video. And you'll learn a lot from this. So if it's a product that you are really, really interested in, it might be smart to buy it as well. And that way you can, check it out and learn what the product is teaching and kind of apply it towards your product. So you can't copy any of these products, but you can model their success and kind of take different things that they've implemented and use them as well. So you don't have to, start from scratch and learn. You can model it off of their success and how they do upsells and those kind of things. All right. So
Awesome.
what I think we should do, if it's cool with you, Adam, is that we just open it up to people. If you guys have any questions about your product ideas, or any concerns, or asking us maybe if it's just a good idea or not, you can let us know inside the chat and we'll go through them. And for anyone who is not asking those questions, you'll learn a lot as well by how we answer those. So you guys can go ahead and do that in the chat. All right, here's a good one by Ryan. So do you guys search by gravity instead of popularity? We actually search by popularity, but as you'll notice that it's kind of like the higher gravity, usually the more popular. Popularity is basically sales, where gravity is the amount of affiliates promoting that product. But we usually search by popularity because that's, total sales and that kind of thing. All right, they're coming in here.
Evander, great question. My niche has a bunch of bad sales pages in it. How do I price my product against a bunch of bad competition? So yeah, some niches that may have not been tapped yet on ClickBank may have some bad competition, may not know what they're doing, and therefore looking at the competition might not be a good idea for you. So, it's really important for you to kind of, Google, if ClickBank doesn't have, the products that you see that are good, competition to base your products off of, maybe use Google as a platform to find some other products. And if it still isn't working then you really have to start looking at split testing some price points. And we have a whole thing inside of ClickBank University talking about that. But it's important for you to kind of figure out what price point fits your customer, fits your avatar and stuff by split testing it and making sure you find the right price. Because at the end of the day, that's one of the most important things to get people inside of your product. So I would definitely go look at some of the split testing videos we have in the advanced section.
Awesome.
Justin, how would you respond to this? I have an online women's clothing business. How would I turn that into a passion online?
All right, so Perry, is your passion kind of clothing? Is it women's clothing? Is it commerce, like selling? What is it? Because the first thing I kind of can think of is there's a lot of people who want to know how to create, online clothing businesses. That's a huge niche. And, a lot of people want to learn how they can make an e-commerce store and sell something. So you could actually teach that just offhand. So it doesn't even have to be about online women's clothing. It can just be about, learning how to have a profitable online store.
Definitely. Here's a good question from James. 1. Subscription service for live virtual in-home trainers to motivate/critique you during your home/ in-home/DVD workout that keep you on pace and focused, or 2, an info product that teaches trainers how to set up a virtual training business. Which would you recommend for my first product? I would definitely recommend number 2. And the reason that is because you basically want to start out teaching people first how to become, how to take their, training and take it to the virtual training business, rather than just assuming people already have online, work at home training systems already up. Because most of the time, especially right now, since we're in the beginning stages of this whole digital, world, most people are still looking for the how-to to get started before, kind of figuring out how to keep it going once they have it up. So I would focus on the number 2 option for this for sure.
I agree. Cool.
I asked my potential customers why they want to learn meditation, and they answered to dissolve anxiety. Would a good product be Dissolve Your Anxiety Today? Definitely. I think that is a huge niche. A lot of people, have anxiety, and if you can, have a good hook for them and a good product that really gives them the meditation, uh, things that they need to really get rid of that anxiety, I think that would be a great product.
Lionel, yeah, you definitely can.
Here's a good question from Sue. You say stick with your passions, but my passion is the outdoors, hunting and fishing, and that seems to have kind of a low popularity and low gravity. All right, so like I was kind of saying before, Sue, some niches out there just haven't been tapped yet. Doesn't mean that they're bad niches, doesn't mean that there's not a lot of traffic in there. We all know that the outdoors niche, hunting, fishing, is a very, very popular space. Millions and millions of people do this. Look at, if you go into YouTube and you like type in like hunting or fishing, there's tons of videos with millions of views that come up. So we know that there's a huge niche out there and a big need for, an actual product around this niche. But just because ClickBank, hasn't had a product that's come out in that niche doesn't mean you shouldn't follow that. And sometimes you have to look outside of ClickBank and kind of look at the other social reaches, social media tools, or look at, search engines and see if it's, if it basically has a lot of traffic. Because I know just from, off the top of my head, this would be a very successful product. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah. No, it's a big niche, and a lot of times also, by the way, is that, the product creators, you'll see some of them, the sales pages are just really bad. So even if it is a right niche, no affiliates were able to really pick it up, because anytime they promote it, it doesn't convert. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure that, if you check in your categories and there's some really ugly pages, and maybe they're really long sales pages and the text is very boring and bland, and it doesn't kind of have any hook to it, that's actually a good indication that, there is kind of a little area that you can pop in and, have a really high converting product around that niche. Because that's a big reason a lot of people don't have sales. It's not always a traffic problem, it's actually a conversion problem. So your product, didn't hit the right things and it's not converting, so no one's sending traffic to it. So that's a big thing.
Definitely. Here's a question from Maria. Would a product on dog skin conditions be a good idea? Yeah, I would do more research on Google and the Google keyword tool and see how many people are searching for that. And basically from there, kind of figure out, if it's a good niche. Now, Justin, should I show everyone how to use the Google keyword tool real quick?
I think that would be cool. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So guys, there's a tool on Google that is basically called the Google keyword tool. And I'm going to show you right now how this works. This is a really, really cool thing. They've actually changed the name, so I'll send everyone a link in a second to it so you can actually go ahead and do it. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So I'm inside here. I'm going to send everyone right now a link to it in the chat. Now, this tool is a very important tool for finding out how much traffic there is for a niche that you are looking to get into. Now, what we're going to do is when we get to the Google Keyword Planner tool here, we're going to click search for a new keyword and add group ideas, okay? And this is run by Google, if you didn't know this already, and what it basically does is it searches Google and tells you how much traffic a certain keyword gets. So what is a keyword? A keyword is when someone types in something into Google. So let's say we're going to use the example of dog skincare, okay? And we're going to see how many people type in dog skincare into Google. And we're going to click Get Ideas right here. And we're going to go to Keyword Ideas. And here we go. Now, as you can see here on the screen, it basically has told us, you know, how many searches dog skincare is getting. So, average monthly searches for dog skin problems is 3,600 people per month. 3,600 different people every single month typing on Google, you know, dog skin problems. And if you look at all these others, dog skin rash is 590 people. Dog skin diseases is 590. Dog skin disorders is 260 people. Dry dog skin is 320. Itchy dog skin is 720. So there's your answer, Maria, that shows, you know, there are, you know, close to 5,000 people per month searching for just dog skin conditions. And if I go down from the list here, it'll keep adding up. Dog itchy skin, 1,300. Dog dry skin, 2,900. So people are obviously interested in finding solutions, and this gives you a great way to really tell if the traffic is high for the niche that you're looking at. So, you know, you can type in anything here. Let's say golf swing, for example. Get ideas. For golf swing tips, 8,100 searches a month. Perfect golf swing, 4,400. Golf swing plane, 1,600. Proper golf swing, 2,400. Then you could actually click it and organize it by popularity. So as you can see here, it'll tell you golf lessons, 8,000. Charles Barkley golf swing. That must have been a parody or a funny thing that happened with Charles Barkley. How to swing a golf club, 4,400. So this proves to you that people are searching for things on Google, and if it looks like it's a lot of people here that are searching for it, then I would say 100% go into that niche and definitely create a product for sure.
Awesome. Here's a cool one. It's a little bit different. It's saying, you know, should I make an ebook or a membership site? I can make an ebook really quick. It might take me a while to make a membership site. So a lot of times, you know, what we talk about is, you know, doing minimum viable product and just getting it out. A lot of you guys are worrying, you know, do I do like a long video series or can I just do an ebook? If you want to just do an ebook and it's like something that an ebook makes sense, like Jamila here says, I'm contemplating between doing a video or an ebook about benefits of a plant-based diet. You can totally just do an ebook, okay? So it might make it a little bit easier and simpler, and that, you know, people just click download, and that's completely fine. So we really recommend you just get out there. You do whatever you think is fairly easy. That way you can get it out there and start learning and that kind of thing.
Yep, for sure. And again, guys, you know, if you're curious about figuring out a niche and seeing if there's traffic there, this tool that I'm using right here on the screen is the tool that I definitely recommend you use first to figure out the traffic. And again, if, you know, it says that there's competition is high, and as you can see on the screen here, it kind of gives you the different things where it says competition is low, for example, for this one that I'm looking at, or medium or high. What that's talking about is the competition for pay-per-click marketing, which are the ads on Google when you basically search for something. The AdWords, that's the competition here. And again, it does not mean that it's a bad thing if the competition is high. It's a good thing because that means people are making money, and that also means that you have the ability to basically tap into all those other people with products, leverage their traffic, leverage their customers, do JV swaps, work together, and find success for both of you. So it's something that you do not want to be scared of. It's a good thing if you see that there's competition in your niche.
Awesome. This is a really cool tool. Adam, by the way, when you're searching for this stuff, are you doing like the one where it's kind of like searching for all, it's not specific and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so right now
Okay.
I didn't break down into exact phrase match or anything like that. I'm
Okay,
just looking
cool.
at, all of them.
All right. And by the way, so you guys know, how to make an ebook, how to make a video training course, all that kind of stuff. With the site builder, you're going to see all the training in there once that's available to you. So we're going to go over all of that. So I know in the training area, sometimes we skip over things like, how do we exactly put a video on a membership site? How do we exactly create a sales page? And that's because it's all inside, the site builder product builder area. All right, here's a good one. Michael, I want to do something where I coach, create videos, ebook to get people off their butts to take action to reach their goals and make changes in their life, whatever it is, business, nutrition, weight loss, relationships, etc. So it seems like it's broad, Michael, but it's really not, because really what it is it's self-improvement. So look inside the ClickBank marketplace for self-improvement and you'll kind of see how to do it and which ones are really working. If you do keep it really broad and you don't really target anyone because it's so broad and you do that shotgun approach and you just try to your whole sales video and sales page is talking about tons of different random stuff which most people don't relate to, you'll have some trouble. So check out the self-help there. Really what it has to be about, I think, is more about finding success and happiness in life and break it down to like money, happiness, and relationships or something like that. Oh, here's a good, good little note. By the way, I have at least moderate experience, so that is definitely all you need. So when we talk about the Google Keyword Tool, a lot of people are searching for information. But if you also, you're very passionate about karate, but you're only like, a white belt or whatever's next. I don't know. Never did karate, but you can sure as heck study it and learn as much as you can and then create a course from that. So definitely don't think that all the information is what you need to use that's already in your head right now. You can learn a lot and kind of regurgitate and implement for your product too. So as long as you're you kind of got the hang of it and you actually love it, you'll be willing to put in the research work and stuff like that. All right. I see a few questions about the site builder. So yeah, so all the information about the site builder is going to be in the site builder area. And we're going to also, put any updates and stuff like that, so if any new things are coming out and when they're going to come out. So we're going to be adding all that stuff in there. And by the way, what we're going to be doing for the site builder is adding new templates, new design aspects, new features, new things all the time. So you're going to want to definitely check that section out. And we're going to have like updates and things like that rolling in all the time.
Awesome. I'm responding to a lot of people by typing in, so bear with me, guys, while I'm not talking.
All right, here's a good one. Stafford. Um, I'm all in for creating a product. However, I need to be making money first. Well, you can definitely go ahead and, once everything's available with the site builder, use that. And, that should be quick. also, by the way, if you think it's going to take a long time to create your product and you're maybe a little bit lost, check out the affiliate marketing section. That's one of the best ways to just get started and start, generating an income online and kind of creating a passive income. But, it's always better to be promoting your own product and building a brand and an asset and that kind of thing. But the affiliate marketing section is actually how Adam and I both got started when we needed to, we wanted to make some extra money 5, 6, 7 years ago. All right, cool.
Very cool. So it looks like the questions are slowing down a bit. In the meantime, Justin, what do you think we should tell everyone to do before next week's live training? I think we should make sure everyone kind of has their passion 100% figured out and picked. What do you think?
I agree. So have your passion, definitely down, and have your product idea down. So, what exactly are you passionate about? Great. What is your product around that passion? And make sure it has like a little bit of an angle. It's a little bit of a sub niche of your passion. That way you can really hit a target audience. And, as Adam was saying, go ahead, look inside the ClickBank marketplace. It's an awesome resource to see what's actually working. Very few times do we see, we get access to check out products that are just doing really, really well. Okay, so check that out. Have an idea. And the goal before next week is have your product down. You know what you're going to do. That's all settled. You've talked to potential customers. You found out with those tests that we did if it's a good product. Again, this is going to be in the recorded training section with the PDFs under it. And you've just narrowed down and you've decided I'm going to make a product about this. Okay. That way you can move on and, start doing the fun stuff with it, which is creating your product. So does that sound good with everyone? Will you have that ready by next week? The product idea down and exactly, what you're going to be selling. Not in terms of exactly what it is, but, I am making a blank, a golf course on putting, a gardening course on, growing vegetables. All right, awesome.
And I have one last question that came through here that we'll end on, which I think is a great question from Bridget. And Bridget would like to know if doing a product in the aspect of diabetes or child obesity would be a good product. And yes, that is a huge, huge problem that's going on right now and a huge niche that a lot of people are looking for ways to solve. And if you have, a great course and a great, ebook or video training course or whatever it is you're thinking of doing that really teaches people about that and how to really, get out of the situations that they're in, I think that would do very, very well. I think the key thing is that you're not going to be really getting children to buy the product, so you really want to focus it towards the parents and how the parents can help their children. And I think that is a very, very powerful approach. If you can do it that way, I think it would do very well.
Awesome. And by the way, guys, a lot of times we try to answer the questions straight in the chat, so you'll see them on the other side. And if we don't, no hard feelings from us. It's actually just that, we actually get hundreds of questions. So what you can do is log inside ClickBank University, send a message to Adam or I just by sending me a private message, and we'll get back to you.
Definitely, for sure. Cool, guys. So with that being said, your homework for this week is, figuring out your passion, figuring out exactly what you're going to do, and we'll be talking next week and going from there. But in the meantime, keep going through the training, take part in the community, ask us questions by messaging us, ask other people, other students that are inside of ClickBank University questions as well, and really embrace the community section, because that's something that really will allow you to get questions answered right away and find people that you can work with and really get to know people and have fun at the same time with creating your product. So With that being said, let me know, guys, what you thought of the training today in the chat box. Did you guys like it, love it? What do you think? So let me know in the chat box real quick. Awesome, great, loved it, great training, perfect. They're flying in.
All right,
Awesome,
cool.
guys. Very informative, absolutely delightful, great training. Awesome, cool. So is there any last things you want to say, Justin?
I think that's it, guys. I want you to get to it. Figure out exactly what your product is. If you haven't already, we are 100% here for you. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next training. Thanks for making this one. And have a great night and a great week and put everything into action, okay? So it's all about momentum and, keeping it up and putting the things we talk about into action. That way you can see real results. So that's it.
Great, guys. Thanks again for coming on and talk next week.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.